Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you're watching us today. As the association chairman and the AICPA chairman and vice chairman, Bill Pirolli and I, have not really been on the road as much this year as we might have expected. Good reasons for that, but would like you to get to know us a little better, and we'd like to spend some time maybe updating you a little bit on what we've been doing at the association for the last year. So, with that in mind, I think I'd like to just ask Bill if you have any opening thoughts you'd like to make as well. Bill Pirolli.
Sure, Tracy. Good to see you as always. It's hard to believe that you and I have not been together in person since we were appointed chair and vice chair. That is so contrary to how we usually do things. We would ordinarily be crisscrossing across the country and getting to engage with the members one-on-one. It's such an important part of what we do. You know, in addition to all the governance and strategic planning and other meetings that we do, that's our opportunity to find out what's going on with all of our members. So this is just our way of saying hello.
As we continue to visit with states kind of virtually through all the great new technology that we have and be able to put videos like this together, it allows us to maintain that connection that's so important for us in the profession. We're really building strong relationships this year, and we're trying to do that through the use of some really cool new technologies. Had a number of happy hours and different things like that have been going on over the year. But that connection is also letting us build strong relationships with our clients and with our employers and with our teams. And so I think from the perspective of what one of the largest things that's impacting us as a profession this year is the really quick adoption of the technology that we've been, using a little bit over time, but really have jumped full in this year. Maybe you can talk a little bit about some of the things that you're doing with technology.
Sure. Actually, I was discussing this with a CEO of a major top 10 firm, and I asked, could you ever imagine still being in business, supporting your clients and doing all the work that you do with every single one of your offices closed? Sure, it's amazing how resilient we've been and how we've been able to pivot into that type of work environment. And it wasn't graceful at first. I think we all struggled with it. We're getting comfortable with it now. But like you said, I think we've been standing on the backs of the relationships that we've built over the years. And I think everyone is quickly going to need to get back to building those relationships. It takes a lot more work to do it over video than it does to do it in person. And while we all hope to get back together in person, who knows what it'll look like later on down the road. We could be in a 50-50 world. We don't know.
Bill, that's so true. We don't know when this is going to end. And it's given us some opportunities, though, right? We can now hire remotely, so we can have a more diverse pool of talent with which to, run our businesses and our firms. And so that's been a helpful thing. The one thing about that, though, is we really do have to focus on our people and continue that as we go forward. The mental health aspect of being in a health crisis and having all the isolation that we do is really important. We're working remotely. We're able to spend more time working. We're not taking as many breaks as maybe we could. And as leaders in the profession, I'd just like to encourage all of you to really take some time, think about, how you can help your people to be more comfortable, getting the recharging breaks that they need, and taking some time for self-care as well. That's really important. And I think as we look forward into 2021, we need to be sure that we stay focused on that.
Yes, Tracy, that's a great observation, keeping track of the mental health of our folks. We saw a lot of stress in the system, and hopefully we'll find innovative ways to relieve that stress as we move forward. But let's change gears a little bit, and let's talk about what are some of the opportunities and the best practices that we've seen in 2020, what will carry over to 2021. I think we've learned a lot about ourselves, and we've learned a lot about our practices and our businesses for those of our friends in business and industry. And I think we'll take some of these as real positives going forward, how we work together better as teams than we do individually, and how we can use this new technology, as you said, not only to hire people anywhere and everywhere, but also maybe to represent clients on an anywhere, everywhere platform. We're already seeing that the permission to represent people this way has already been granted, right? The clients are used to it now. So we need to capitalize on that as opposed to just simply dismissing it and waiting for us to get back to a live, in-person, everybody in the office kind of platform. So what are you seeing as things that are carrying forward to 2021?
So, Bill, I've seen some really cool things in auditing, particularly as I look around and see what's happening. Auditing remotely has really been something that we were transforming to, and now we've just accelerated that pace. And this year, it really, the use of the technologies like AI and robotic process automation and data analytics really allow us to change what we're looking at, when we're looking at it, and how we're looking at it. So the how we're doing that work and what it's allowing us to do is to essentially get more insights from the data. We're not spending as much time summarizing and collating and getting information together. Rather, we're spending the time to use our judgment and our critical thinking skills in order to come up with, what are the insights and what can we add as value to our clients from the audit. And I think that's been great. That really has allowed us to focus on being, trusted advisors and providing additional thoughts and insights to clients in a lot of different ways. So the use of client accounting services and advisory services are really expanding in this time as people look to CPAs for the help that they need to get through to the next step. I think you're probably seeing some of the same things in the tax area, I bet.
Sure. As you know, I'm not an auditor, and I don't, but I can certainly see the opportunities that exist. I can imagine you putting audit teams together from all over the country to work together, as opposed to the single office mentality that we had before. So that's a big advantage. And yes, in the tax area, we're coming into the end of the year. It's particularly challenging this year. We have a lot of issues that we're dealing with, including, PPP, expense deductibility, all kinds of state income tax issues that have popped up at the end of the year. So there's been a tremendous amount of uncertainty. And what we have found, though, is our client accounting services, our CAS services, have really risen because our clients who were in the cloud, who embraced the cloud, we're better able to service them. And those that were maybe a little bit behind are now asking us to go into their businesses and reinvent the way that they're running their business. So because they're not in the office either, and they're having trouble with remote access and understanding their numbers and their processes. So we really see the CAS area, client accounting services area, really coming back very, very strong as we assist our clients, as you said, be the thought leaders, add value, and be that trusted advisor beyond doing the compliance work.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that something that we're working on at the association that should be exciting as we move through 2021 is the dynamic audit solution, which will be a great set of tools for firms of all sizes to use as they really focus on further enhancing the remote auditing and the additional use of the technologies that companies are using and firms are using now. So stay tuned for that as we go forward into 2021, because that particular technology tool itself will start to become available, and we'd encourage you to take a look and understand where it's at and how it can help you as well.
That's right. And we also have the Prep Comp and Review tool has been out for quite a while. So that's sort of a sister product to the dynamic audit solution. And you're right. I think 2021 will have a lot of opportunity for us to render tremendous value-added services to our clients as we all come through this together.
Yeah, I think that's right. And just one last plug for something we're doing at the association. The Digital Mindset Pack has been released this year and has modules in 3 critical areas around technology. And those can be super helpful. And CPAs that are also CGMAs have that as part of their membership benefits this year. And CPAs who are not yet CGMAs do receive 1 module free as part of their membership this year. So remember that before the end of the year, if this comes, if you're able to take advantage of it, then go for it, because it has some great information in it. Well, Bill, I think our profession has really proven that it's committed to the public interest throughout the pandemic. What I would say, though, is that for a lot of people, their only interaction with a CPA is filing their tax return. And I know there's so much more that we can do and so much more that tax practitioners do. Maybe you can spend a few minutes talking about what's happening in the area of our tax practices.
Yes, Tracey, I agree. You're correct. We've really taken our place and proven that our profession is essential to not only advocating for our members, but advocating for businesses all across the country and all around the world. When we look back, I don't think there's a better example than the PPP loan program. With all that money coming into the system, we were there to advocate for our clients to help get them that loan, and now we're into the forgiveness stage. So I think that really highlights our profession and how incredibly vital we are towards the entire economy. And likewise, I think that there's a whole range of services that we should be thinking about offering our clients going forward. I'm getting a lot of phone calls related to estate planning, personal financial planning, and really be thinking about that whole holistic, how we service the client, not just in their compliance needs, but also all their other needs. And this is top of mind for clients right now. I mean, we're in a sort of a health emergency, so people are thinking about things like estate planning and generational planning, and we need to be there with them in that personal financial journey. So I know we've just opened up the PFS credential again for a third pathway for experience. So if you're thinking about getting that PFS, right now is a really good time to do it.
So, Bill, this is also a great time in our profession for management and public accountants to work together. Really, it's important for us to understand where businesses are going in the future. And in fact, in the area of environmental, social, and governance issues and disclosures, that's a real opportunity for us to have our profession lead, because we can have management and public accountants work together and deliver on trusted information, sustainability, and so forth. And I think there's a lot going on in that area right now. Lots of consultation papers from between IFAC and the IFRS Foundation, and those two. And then, of course, the recent announcement that the IIRC, the International Integrated Reporting Council, and the Sustainability Accounting Standards Board would merge together in 2021. All of this will help us to get a more consistent and comparable set of information, and that really plays well to all of what we do as CPAs, finance professionals bringing their skills to delivering the company's information, to identifying what the information is and how to put controls around it, and then the CPAs who are in public accounting auditing it, so and providing assurance around that. So I really think that there's a lot that we can look forward to, in addition to all of the things that we've been able to add value with in the pandemic. And that's very exciting.
Tracey, I agree with that. Right now is a perfect example of the health of a company is measured more than by just their numbers. Okay, and we're seeing that the companies that, as you said, pay attention to all of these pillars of strength in a company, and that's something that integrated reporting deals with, human resources, certainly technology. It really speaks to the viability of a company well past the numbers. So I agree. I think that's going to be an important area going forward for the profession.
So in this last section where we're going to talk today, let's focus a little bit on the future of our profession and how we continue to drive new talent into our profession. And I think as we look at what's going on in that area, CPAs at all levels are really having challenges in terms of, maintaining their skill set and updating their skill sets. And as part of what we've been looking at the AICPA for the last couple of years, actually, we've been looking at how do we evolve the CPA exam and CPA licensure process. And I'm happy to say that this year we've made some great progress with CPA Evolution. And CPA Evolution really recognizes that these changing skill sets exist and provide us with more flexibility and adaptability within the CPA licensure process. And I'd encourage you to check out the resources that are available on CPA Evolution. Our goal is to have the new model, which includes a strong core and an additional discipline that a CPA candidate would demonstrate their expertise in the exam process to get licensed, still resulting in one CPA license. And it will allow us to just continue to recognize that technology and business changes over time. So it's our attempt to stay ahead of those changes by having a process that really will let us be flexible and adaptable as well. As we think about what that means, though, it does mean that we as CPAs today need to continue to enhance our own skills and take a real lifelong learning mindset. I think I really look at how we use our CPE. We are uniquely placed in that we have CPE requirements each year. However, I'd encourage you to use those requirements and think about how you can gain new skills and enhance your skills for the new services of the future. Don't just think of it as credit hours. Think of it as really making your career better and where you want to go in the future. Bill, do you have any thoughts on that?
Oh, sure, Tracey. As I look back on when I entered the profession more than just a few years ago, actually 42 years ago, the skill set that was required for me to become a newly licensed CPA, when I look at what's needed today, it's probably 10 times greater today than it was 40 years ago. So I think CPA evolution and continuing to evolve the CPA exam is absolutely critical. We need our newly licensed CPAs to hit the ground running. We need the exam to be relevant, challenging. It should not be easy to enter into our profession. It should be dynamic, and we need to continue to evolve the exam into something that someone wants to take. You have to want to enter this profession. And I'm very excited about the CPA evolution because I think what it will do, especially with the technology piece, it'll really place the CPA profession at the intersection of business and technology. And that's where we're going to live for a very long time.
And Bill, you said something that was very interesting to me, which is we have to have people who want to be in our profession. And I think that's a great pivot to what we're seeing is that younger generations are really purpose-driven, and our profession is uniquely purpose-driven as well. Protecting the public interest is extremely important to us and has always been the foundation of our profession. And if you really think about it, our messaging to high school students and to students who might become interested in becoming a CPA really should share our commitment to the public interest and our commitment to societal impact. I know that, as I look at the Gen Z people that I know, I might even have one or two, one at home. I think that extremely they want to have a societal impact. And the more that we can talk about our profession and the impact that we have as we've gone through this pandemic, even as an example, we'll have success at continuing to expand our pipeline and have the people come in and want that CPA credential with them.
Yes, I agree, Tracey. And I think that creating interest in the CPA profession is everyone's job. I was inspired into this profession at a community college by a part-time adjunct accounting professor. And so we don't know where the future leaders of the profession are right now. They're in high schools, middle schools, that community college or a four-year college. And We all have a part to play in creating a profession that will attract these people. And we can't just rely on the AICPA to work on the pipeline. We all need to work on the pipeline.
I agree with you, Bill. And I think that as we look at working on that pipeline, I'd also encourage us. I'm going to go back to something I started with earlier, and that is that the notion of self-care and taking good care of yourself during this pandemic and forward is so critical. And I'd like to kind of end with that thought. And so, Bill, I really do appreciate you being here with me today and us being able to share some of our thoughts on, our profession and what's happening at the association. And I know I'm looking forward to, in the new year, having a LinkedIn Live session with you. So everybody stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, we're going to actually answer questions from members. So if you have questions, please submit them to the email that you'll see on your screen now. And we would really look forward to seeing you then again in the new year. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks, Tracey. It was great to be here with you.